Now, in 2015, a boy was killed by a rock from a quarry in a community very close to Ablikuma in Accra. In spite of the dangers involved in living very close to such sites, Ghana's quarry industry faces imminent collapse as the states and private developers continue to encroach on buffer zones and sites. The ESM company in the central region was forced to shut down as a result of heavy human activity around it. Joy in My Community on the JoyNews channel puts the spotlight on the menace. Here is a report put together by Maxwell Agbagba.
The sun is setting and I'm in a community called Joma, very close to Ablikuma. I'm here to meet the family of a boy who was killed in 2015 after he was hit by a fly rock from a nearby quarry. Here on the compound, his twin brother is moving around and playing with his friends. Sister of the deceased narrates to me how it happened on that fateful day.
My mother shouted, Jesus, Jesus, and I said, what is that? And then when I go there and I see my mother with the child, my mother put the child on the floor and then she ran. The stone hit my back of my brother. At once she died.
She's not the only person in this community who has a bad experience with operations of the quarry. Some of them complain about how the fly rocks from the quarry drawing, blasting, damage their roofing sheets. Blasting is an important part of quarry. Here, big rocks are forced out of the belly of the earth through controlled explosion. When they are mined or extracted, they are then broken down into various usable components. The blasting can sometimes result in devastating consequences. Regulation 176 of the Minerals and Mining Regulations 2012 LI 2177 states that a manager of a quarry site shall ensure that for any explosion, there is a 500-meter minimum safety distance between a blast and a person near the blast site. But one of the major challenges of Ghana's quarry industry is encroachment of its 500-meter buffer zones, with some persons even building in some of the concessions.
Many years ago, when work started on this quarry site, not many buildings were around here. Well, although some of the residents who have put up their structures illegally here, some of them in the buffer zone of the quarry, some of them also directly in the quarry concession, they say that the quarry site rather poses a threat to them.
How long have you been living here?
7 years.
Okay, 7 years. Okay.
So when they are blasting there, we have to move away from our houses. You have to find some storage building and hide under.
Rocks play an important role in the infrastructural development of every country. It is the raw material used for the construction of roads, bridges, drainage systems, airports, hospitals, harbors, and many more. Rocks suitable for construction are however limited. Where they are available, they may also not be always accessible or viable to mine. Some places in Ghana do not have them at all, and some countries have to spend resources importing them for various construction. The quarry industry makes these rocks and its other derivatives available, but it continues to face existential threat from the urban sprawl and the scramble for land for residential purposes.
Today we are here to understand the operations of the quarries and also get a sense and understanding of how these people have encroached into the buffer zone, some of them putting their structures right up in the concessions. And we are lucky, we have here with us the chairman of the Commercial Quarry Operators.
Without quarry aggregates, you will have difficulties in even getting shelter. Then when you come to the development of a country, where the infrastructure is the most important thing. Without quarry aggregates, you can't do most of the things.
Wow.
And so from just what I'm telling you, you can see that without quarry aggregates, any nation will be found wanting if you want to develop economically.
The conversation will continue with Charles Mensah Onuma. He's the Director for Administration here at the Regime Manual Concrete Products Limited. They are the operators of this quarry here at Joma, close to Ablekuma. Sir, you're welcome to JoyNews.
Thank you.
Great.
This quarry started operation in the later part of 1986
Okay.
by the former construction pioneers, and the quarry was operated to enable them to have the inputs for the road construction in the Greater Accra.
Oh, okay.
The major one being the Kaneshi Malam Road project.
Oh, okay.
And Obechebi Lamte Circle to Kolebu.
Yeah.
That is Ring Road West Extension Project.
Okay.
Accra City Roads.
The encroachment menace is widespread and not limited to Joma. At Budumbram in the Gumua East District of the Central Region, manager of a quarry company, the ESM Company Limited, Ebenezer Sapon, says it had to shut down because of the threats posed by encroachers.
We have been working about 4 years ago. People started to encroach the land. That did not stop the encroachers. I have reported everywhere. You go to the police, go into the assembly, and they look as if nobody is doing anything about it. But what it even broke the camel's back was that Electricity Corporation of Ghana was able to extend power to a quarry land where we are blasting. So we give the people power, and whenever we blast, they come to the quarry and attack us. When you go to the police, they don't say anything. What they tell you is that we should go to assembly. Assembly also will say they will come, but they won't come. So we have no option than to send the assembly to court at the Winneba High Court. And for over 3 years now, we haven't got judgment.
The situation is not different from what is happening in Shai Hills, as many buildings have started springing up within the buffer zone of the Twin Rock Quarry. The manager, Papayao Odaimriku, is terrified about the situation as he has seen what has happened to other quarry sites which have stopped operating as a result of human activities very close to them.
A single room you can't even determine, but that's someone there. So now this pit can't be operated because immediately we try anything explosive, this thing will be destroyed. Currently, what it really does is it limits your operation in terms of expanding your quarry face. It turns into a land guard issue, it turns into a police station issue, it turns into a court issue, and it's a cycle that keeps occurring.
Chairman of the Northern Sector Quarry Operators Association, Edututu Jemfi, paints a picture of the situation in the Ashanti region.
Encroachment is engulfing all the enclaves. If you come to Fijakwa Bridge South, that is the Bon enclave, that is where I have my quarry. In our enclave, we have 5 quarries. All the 5 quarries are being encroached. The encroachers break into the quarry yard. Now, not about the buffer. They've even gone beyond the buffer, and they are now in the quarry concessions and they are developing. They do develop at night. They have land guards protecting them, and the quarries cannot do anything about that. Because if we choose to counter with any form of defense, it will be a bloodshed. We can only go to the police to report, we go to court, but to no avail. The assembly claims they've not given or issued permits to those people. And that is all what they say.